Hello, everyone. This is Senior Biotech Analyst John Vandermosten. Welcome to our channel that educates the life sciences investor on exciting advancements in drugs, biologics, and devices. For more content and news like this, subscribe to our channel below and like or share with others. Thank you for joining our show with the CEO of Allarity Therapeutics, Jim Cullem. Jim, welcome to Unboxing Biotech.
Thanks, John. It's great to be back with you.
Combination therapy is the vanguard of new approaches in oncology because it comes at cancer from multiple directions, employing a flanking maneuver in the cancer battle that can delay or prevent recurrence. Allarity recently announced that it had dosed its first patient in its combination trial in solid tumors using pan-TKI dovitinib and PARP inhibitor stenoparib. Jim, what got you to this point, and how will success with this combination attract investors?
What got us to this point was the realization last year that combination therapies are not only the future of cancer treatment, they're the now of cancer treatment. They are increasingly taking over the front line of therapeutic options in most types of cancers. And Allarity made a strategic decision that we needed to align the company's pipeline in that direction as well.
So, combination therapies are really attractive because they come at the problem from a couple of different directions, opposed to monotherapy, which you had mentioned before. So how might your combinations synergize to potentially eliminate ovarian cancer, which is one of the primary tumors you're looking at, and then also the other tumors that will be in the basket study as well?
So the goal, John, of combination cancer therapy is not just to have additive effect of two different tumor killing mechanisms or tumor growth inhibitory mechanisms, but to have a synergistic effect. So the action of the two drugs is substantially better than the action of either drug alone. That is what we are hoping to see and anticipating we may see in our combinations study with two different mechanisms of these two drugs.
And what's the goal of the phase 1b study? Normally we think of phase 1 as being, predominantly focused on safety. So tell us about that. And then also, when do you expect results from this?
Happy to do so. You're absolutely correct, John. Normally a phase 1 or 1b would be looking mostly at safety and acceptable toxicity. We are certainly looking at that. This combination of stenoparib and dovitinib has not been in a clinical study before. However, classes of drugs that are similar to ours or the same have been in studies before with promising results. Our specific phase 1b is looking a little bit beyond that. We're looking to see early therapeutic benefit signals in this study, and we've designed it in that way by emphasizing the potential enrollment of cancer types that we believe will be the most responsive to the combination.
And Allarity is known for its DRP platform, which you use to select patients. How will it be used in this study to help enroll it?
So because this is a phase 1b study, we will not be using the DRP prospectively to screen and enroll patients based on their DRP score for each of the two drugs. We will be looking at the patient biopsy materials and what the therapeutic outcomes are in the study retrospectively using the DRP, and that will then help inform whether the DRP can provide predictive value in later clinical studies and at what cutoff level.
Okay, great. So this is going to help you work on later phase trials. And then, that brings me to my next question, which is, what's next? Assuming it's successful, assuming the phase B is successful, what are your next steps after that?
Our next step would be to run a phase 2 study on this combination. We will, of course, know coming out of the phase 1b what the optimal dosing is. And this goes to a fairly recent but very influential guidelines that have come out from the US FDA called Project Optimus, which is encouraging companies, if not requiring companies, to optimize dosing in a phase 1 study, not just give the patient the maximum tolerable dose, which was the old development way. So in our study, we will be looking at a range of dosing, trying to figure out the optimal dosing that balances therapeutic benefit with acceptable patient adverse events, and we will then roll that into a phase 2 study, which will be our first look at, is this combination therapeutically beneficial, and it will help us inform as well which cancer type we want to target in our phase 2.
And how reliant is going to the next steps on raising capital or funding? Is that a critical step in what you're going to do next?
Yes, John, it's a great question. And financing for therapeutic development companies, especially in tough markets like today's market and last year's market, is always a critical step. Like all therapeutic development companies, all of our programs are always dependent on having sufficient capital or being able to secure sufficient capital. And we are constantly looking to the future and looking at ways that we can secure the capital we need to get these programs through later stage clinical studies.
And I wanted to focus on ovarian cancer, which is one of the cancers that you mentioned that will be addressed in this study, among others. So we looked at some stats, and it's one of the top 10 most prevalent cancers in the United States and around the world. There are about 20,000 cases of ovarian cancer expected in 2023. What's the opportunity to help people if this combination therapy is ultimately approved?
So, John, there are obviously a number of therapies that are already approved in use in ovarian cancer. The initial tumor tends to progress. Patients become refractory to existing treatments, such as cisplatin, which is a chemotherapeutic, and/or PARP inhibitors that are ahead of us in the field. So there is a continuing unmet need as these patients progress with their disease. We believe this specific combination of dovitinib and stenoparib has the potential to fill that treatment need for those patients as they progress forward.
Great. And you're also looking at other types of cancer as well. Has there been a history of tyrosine kinase and PARP inhibitors working well in other types of cancer besides ovarian?
So what we're looking at in this phase 1 study, as far as the enrichment of tumor types that we think may be the most likely to respond to this drug combination, is informed by what's been observed in the field and what's currently used in the standard of care. So clearly and obviously ovarian cancer is within the study. It's a type of cancer that PARP inhibitors are already a mainline part of the treatment regime. And in addition to that, we're looking at tumor types where our specific PARP inhibitor has previously shown some promising signs of therapeutic benefit, as well as what's seen in the field of other tumor types that may be responsive to PARP inhibitors alone and combinations with a pan-TKI.
Well, thanks for the update on how the combination trial is starting out. Again, we have Jim Cullem, CEO of Allarity Therapeutics, ticker symbol ALLR.